Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel, and I hope that you are liking my videos on computer networking. So if you do have any feedback on any of my videos, do provide me, and also if you have not subscribed to my channel till now, do subscribe it, and I hope that like whatever videos I have made, it will be helpful for you. Coming to this video, in this video, I'm going to discuss about UDP protocol. So I will give an introduction to UDP protocol, and we will also look at we will also go into details of UDP protocol. And in the last video, I covered multiplexing and demultiplexing in transport layer. So if you have not watched that video, do watch it because that video is also very important part of computer networking. Now coming to this video, I will just discuss about what UDP protocol is. I have discussed it a lot of times in my previous videos also. So I will again give you the same introduction of UDP, like it's a connectionless protocol and it's an unreliable protocol. Like this, I have been discussing a lot of time in my other videos also. And also in a socket programming, like what we did for UDP, you would have seen that in that program, there is no connection like from the client to the server in that program. Directly client starts communicating with the server directly. And it's also a unreliable protocol in the sense that, if you use UDP protocol for communication over the network, it's not guaranteed by the UDP that like whatever data you transfer, that data will be delivered to the destination. It's not guaranteed by the UDP protocol. It tries its best, but it will never guarantee you the same. Now you will think that if UDP and IP both are unreliable, so I have discussed about difference between IP protocol and transport layer, like transport layer protocol in one of my videos, I think 2 videos before this. Now you will think that of course IP protocol is also unreliable protocol and IP protocol is a part of network layer. Now you will think that if UDP and IP protocol both are unreliable, then why then to use UDP? Why directly, why directly we cannot, so why can't we directly use the IP protocol? Why even to use the UDP protocol? So the reason is that UDP does provide some benefits. Since UDP is a part of transport layer, it does provide multiplexing and demultiplexing that we have seen in the last video. And also it provides some error checking. So other than these two, it does not provide anything. So TCP, you will see, it provides a lot of features. But UDP is kind of, so in terms of reliability, if you see, it provides nothing, So it's just, what it provides is just these two, multiplexing, demultiplexing, plus error checking. And now you will think that, okay, why not implement the same thing in the IP protocol, right? That will again make the overall networking layers, right? It will make it complex. So that's the reason we have 4 or 5 layers, right? In TCP IP, or we have the OSI model, right? To make the, to make computer networking easy to understand. Now, if you put the multiplexing, demultiplexing also in the IP protocol, then it will become a bit messy. Also, one example of service that uses a UDP for querying is DNS. Like DNS, typically, it will use UDP protocol for querying the DNS servers. And we have seen this in when I was discussing about DNS in one of my videos. Okay, now I have explained you why to use UDP over IP protocol. Why we cannot integrate multiplexing, demultiplexing into the IP protocol itself. The next question is, again, why use UDP instead of TCP? So we know that TCP is a reliable protocol. TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. So TCP provides reliability, right? Which is very important. You do not want, like, if you send some data, you do not, you do want guarantee, right? Most of the time that that data should reach the destination. And TCP gives you that. Then why to use UDP, right? You will think, again, you will of course have a question in your mind. So the reason is, I will explain the reason why sometimes UDP is used, and already we have seen that in DNS, UDP is used. So of course, there will be some reason that DNS is using UDP over TCP, right? The reason is that real-time applications do not want delays, okay? So real-time applications examples are like you are playing some online games, okay? You are doing like video conference, right? Like over Zoom or Skype or any other like such services. Now, what happens if you use TCP connection is this in these real-time applications. Now, of course, TCP is connection oriented. So for TCP connection, the client has to first initiate a connection to the server, and that will add to delay, overall delay. Plus, there are a lot of things that goes in the background, like for TCP, to make the overall process reliable. So we will go into some details in the next video, but there is a lot of things that goes in the background, and all of those do add to a bit of delay to the overall communication. So UDP is faster than TCP. The reason is that because of the connection oriented nature of TCP, it takes more time than UDP protocol. Or some applications can tolerate some data loss. So there are these applications, these real-time applications can tolerate some data loss, but they need very fast transmission of packets, or they need very fast transmission of the data. That's why they use UDP. So for them, okay, it's fine. Okay, if some of the packets do not reach the destination, it's fine for them. But they want the communication to be very fast. These real-time applications. For example, online video games, online streaming, video communication, and DNS. So in these online video games, online streaming, video communication, I mean, you may adjust with some data loss. Like if the quality goes a bit, low sometimes, it's fine for you. But it should be fast. It should be very fast. You do not want delays in the communication in this. So now take example of DNS. So whenever you visit a website on your browser, a DNS query is used for resolving the website to IP address. Now, what will happen if DNS uses a TCP? So every DNS query will take a lot of time, and that will add to the overall experience on your browser, right? Like whenever you load a website, there will be slight delay, like slight more delay than when you use UDP for DNS. So that's why sometimes UDP is useful. And also running applications on UDP is controversial. The reason is that, see, one of the advantages of using TCP is it also helps in congestion control. So what is congestion control here is that, so let's say if the overall network, so the overall internet we have, if it becomes congested, then TCP protocol will help in that, help in decongesting that network. But UDP will not help, because UDP only does demultiplexing and multiplexing plus some error detection, nothing else. So let's say if the overall network is, so what do I mean by that overall network is congested? That means some of the routers are very busy, like they're getting a lot of requests. And when your request goes to that router, it will take a lot of time, and sometimes your request may even get dropped from that router, okay? When there is a lot of congestion in the network. Now in UDP, what will happen? UDP does not care about what's happening in network. So if you tell UDP that, okay, I want to send this much amount of data, it will send it directly. It does not care about what is happening in the network. So of course, your network is already congested and you are sending more and more data in the network. So what will happen? The overall network will become more and more congested, and basically there will be more and more packet drops, and of course the users will see the issues. But in case of TCP, this will be different. In TCP protocol, we see that, okay, the overall network is congested. So it will try to limit the transfer of data from your system. So it will slow it down. So it will adjust it. Now let's look at the UDP segment structure. So if you see like in the header of the transport layer, you have source port and destination port. And this is very important. And we have seen in the previous video in multiplexing and demultiplexing how source port and destination port are very important. Like they help in delivering the whatever data like the application is sending. It helps in sending that data to the correct process, right? Because what will happen on server or on your destination, there will be multiple processes running, and each process will be running on different ports. Okay, so these ports help in differentiating between those processes. So that's why this source port and destination port are a part of transport layer, and this will also be there in the when we see the TCP in the next video. So the source port and destination port will also be there in the TCP segment structure. And of course, length is there. What is the length of this segment? Then you have checksum. Like checksum is used for error detection that I have discussed about. And last one is of course the application data, or the message. So whatever application message is there. So basically transport layer function is to deliver this message, from one process to another process, from source process to destination process. If you look at the UDP segment structures, it's quite simple. If you see, the most important ones are the source port and destination port. And of course, then you have data. But as you will see in TCP segment structure, it's a bit more complex than this. Because TCP is connection oriented, so it does have to store a lot of more information in the headers here. So next, what I will do is I will take an example. So with the help of Wireshark to show you how actually the UDP communication takes place, and I will also show you this UDP segment structure in that Wireshark, because it's always better to look at the real examples itself. Now for showing the example of UDP protocol segment structure with the help of Wireshark, what I will do is I will use the ANSI command or netcat command. So I have already made a video on ANSI or netcat command, and you can watch it. I will also paste the link of that in the description here. And what this command does is basically it can be very helpful in creating a very simple client server communication. In order to create a very simple client server model communication, we can use that. And also there are many other uses also of ANSI command, and I've discussed all of that in that video. So in the upper window, what I will do, I will start the server here. So ANSI minus UL. So minus U flag is for UDP protocol, L is for listening. And basically I am starting the server on my local host 127.0.0.1, and I'm starting my server on port number 12345. And I will start this. Okay. Now this has started. The server has started. Now I will go to the second tab, and also what I will do is one more thing. I will go to my Wireshark here. Okay. Now what I am doing the communication on my local host network. So for that, I will select my local interface. That is this one, loopback. I mean, the local interface is also called as loopback. So I will select this. Okay. Now there are, there is nothing and no packets here. Now I will go here and connect the client here, basically to this server. Basically, I will do ANSI minus U. U is for again UDP because I want to communicate over UDP protocol. And again, I want to connect to the server, which is there on this host 127.0.0.1. That's why this. And on which port the server is there, right? 12345. I will use that. So this is our client in the second one. I will press enter. Okay. Now let's go to this Wireshark. Till now you see nothing, right? Because as I have told you, UDP is a connection less protocol. So there is no connection happening here. That's why you are not seeing anything here. In TCP, you will see it differently. Do note this. In TCP also, I will show you the same example using ANSI command, but you will notice some difference there. Now what I will do is I will just say hello from client. So what you will see when I say hello, of course, in the server also you should see the hello here. Okay. Now let's go to Wireshark. Of course, you see one frame here, right? Let's click on this. Okay. Now, of course, the first, we have the four layers here, right? A second, so of course, this is the frame. Then you have the data link layer, but of course, there is null or loopback because here we are just using a local host. So there will be not much information here. So there's no much information here. And also we are not caring much about the data link layer here. We are mostly, if you look at the IPv4 address, of course, source and destination address is same because I'm communicating from 127.0.0.1 to 127.0.0.1. That's why both are same. But how we can differentiate it? See the port number. The port number will be different. So you see here, if you see, of course, destination port number is 12345 because client is sending the message to server. That's why the destination port is 12345 because destination is the server here, and the client has started its socket. The client socket is running on this port number 56643. That's why this is the source port, and you can see, right, source port is this, and you can see some more information. I told you, right, as you have seen here, source port, destination port is there, right, and you can see it's source port, destination port. And also there are names given for this, but of course you can see that at the numbers here 1 2 3 4 5 and 5 6 6 4 3. Now of course length is there. Okay, you see length here also 14, right? And there is some checksum for this. That is I think that is in hexadecimal here. Some checksum is also here. So these are some of the important fields in the UDP segment. Of course, and also you can see our data. So data is basically part of, so of course you see here application data should also be there, right? And of course data is there, that is of 6 byte, and data is basically kind of it is not in the same format. If you click on this, okay, now if you click on the data, you can see, right, what we have sent hello, because there is no encryption that I have used here, right? I have sent the same hello message, so it will be visible on the Wireshark. That's why you see hello here, right? So that's the communication UDP protocol, and it's a very simple one. Okay, one thing more I can show you. So of course, we know that using the ANSI command, the server can also communicate with the client. So if you type something here, let's type hello from server, okay? So of course, you should see the reply, the same thing in the client also. You see in the client, you see hello from server. So this is from server side. Now let's go to this Wireshark. You should see a second frame also here. Let's click on this. In this case, again, if you go to like the network layer, that is IP protocol here or network layer protocol. Source destination is same, but of course, if you see the UDP information, of course, you see the source and destination port has reversed now. So source port is basically the server port 12345 and destination port is 56643. That is the client, the socket in which client is running. Similarly, you can see source port, destination port, length is 26 because here I have typed hello server, right? Hello from server, okay? And also you can click on the data itself. The length of this is 18. So length of this is 18 and overall length of like this segment is 26. And also you can see the data here, hello from server, you will see in this data here. So that is simple example of communication using UDP protocol. And you see UDP is quite simple. If you see, like, even the segment is quite simple. Like you see only source port, destination port, length and checksum. And if you see the communication, it's quite simple, right? You just, you send like, if the data is big, what will happen? The whole data will broken down into smaller segment. So that also example we will see later on. I'm not going to show that example now, but yeah, we will take one example where the data size is very big. Here the data size is very small, right? Hello from server or hello. So in just one frame or in just one segment, the overall data is sent, right? But when you have a very big data, in that what can happen, the whole data will not fit in just one segment because there is a limit to the size of this segment, okay? There is a limit to the length of this segment. So you have to break down the overall data into like multiple chunks, and then you have to construct multiple segments and you have to send all of them, okay? You will see also that example sometimes later. So that's all for this video. And like UDP is very small, I will say, compared to TCP. So that's all about the UDP actually. But yeah, TCP is more complex than UDP. So in that you will see, okay, the overall, like the YSR example that I will show there, you will see that how it is very different from UDP protocol. And if you do have any doubts like about UDP or about the segment structure itself or about NC command itself, do put that in the comment section. That's all for this video. Thank you.